block with the puff chest, out the wilderness with the ruggedness. Knock knock is knuckles, the blow thrower, independent flower, magical emerald holder. Give you the coldest shoulder, my spike goes through boulders. That's why I stay alone. I was born by myself, I don't need a posse, I get it on by myself. Adversaries get shelved.
I hope you're fired up and ready to lock in. I crushed a 5-plate weighted dip for 5 major reasons that you can apply to your own training. I'll be showing you my training as a whole while we discuss these 5 things, which you can also apply in the context of my new program, Conquest. I'm your host, Bald Omni-Man. It's my pleasure to bring you this new program and these 5 tips to get the most out of it. Please enjoy. The foundation of anything that we do should be strong. And today for us, that means following a well-paced out dip training program. The Conquest program, for instance, check that out in the description if you're interested after this video. The first thing with pace is also knowing how to pace yourself. Not only just with my first run of the program, but when I rerun it and when I'm trying to beat the books. This is called training momentum, which in other words is the practice of working hard, but also leaving a reasonable runway to improve something next time. It should be your goal to see the next lowest hanging fruit before it's time to pick it. I talk about this a lot and will continue to talk about this a lot because when it comes to training people in real life or working with people online, this is the number one thing that people do not do well. Keep in mind, this applies to any big lift. So your squat, your bench, your deadlift, your weighted pull up. Now, me personally, I have a caveman brain. So without having to overthink this, I like to lay out a solid foundation of volume at the start of a program without redlining it. And then as I start to push harder towards the middle, I'm going to leave myself in a position to finish strong at the end of the program. Conquest lays this out perfectly, so please do check that out after you watch today's video. Speaking of seeing trends, you should also be hitting key benchmarks within your training cycle that trend towards you getting something nice at the end. A big predictor of your 1 rep max strength would be your performance for reps. Now, I'm no mathematician, but this breakdowns perfectly with a couple caveman equations that I've happened upon through experience. I know that I'm trending well if I can hit 60% for over 15 reps, about 70% of my intended 1 rep max for more than 10, 80% for 7 or more, 85% for 5 or more, and lastly 90% for either a really easy single or for a smooth set of 3 or more. If you aren't hitting the majority of these benchmarks, you can look at your sleep and diet first. Most of the time, that'll address things right away. So I just laid the foundation of caveman math with those Oonga Boonga equations. I got a little bit more for you. This 3rd tip is going to be for fellas that struggle with making their top sets feel good, like they're more difficult than they should be. I want you to try hitting your last warm-up set with 90% of your intended top set weight. The trick with that is this. If you feel like you could have easily hit the prescribed number of reps with that last warm-up weight, chances are if you add 10% more weight, it's still going to be true. That's exactly what I did with 4 plates. It felt and looked easy, so I knew 5 plates was going to be on the table since 4 plates added to my body weight is 90% of what 5 plates plus my body weight was going to be. Another layer to it is this. Let's say that 90% last warm-up felt hard. Like if you moved up, you would not get it. I want you to rest a little bit, pump some electrolytes, get some hydration in, and then move up to your working weight plus 5 pounds and just do that for a single rep. Doing this slightly heavier single rep will make it so that when you go back down to your working weight, 5 pounds less, you'll feel a lot stronger. In GigaBrain terms, this is called post-activation potentiation. In meathead terms, this is like Goku training at 100 times gravity, and then he turns the gravity down and he's faster. Thanks for watching so far, fellas. If you're liking the video, remember to like it and subscribe. Now, our 4th and penultimate tip is going to be for fellas that struggle with making any movement feel the way that it should feel, in this case, dips. This next tip is really simple. There's a way to prevent getting in your own way and getting bigger and stronger. There's a way to dip to competition standard for maximum weight, minimal range of motion that can sometimes, quite honestly, be almost nothing. And then there's a way to dip to make our muscles bigger preferentially. If we're in the interest of looking like we lift big ass weights, we should be paying attention to the way that we lift our weights to find technique that works for us. In principle, this can apply to any lift under the sun, big lifts, small lifts. But for weighted dips specifically, this looks like maintaining a push-up position, going with as much range of motion as we comfortably can, pausing when we can, and then repeating this over and over and over again to as close to that form standard as we can each and every time. So you do these 4 things, you're gonna be good to go, not only with dips, but for any big movement you have. I got one more for you, but first, a test boost. I thought that animation went extremely hard, but y'all let me know what you're thinking about it. The last tip is going to be for folks that find that dips can feel unstable for them. For me, there's a couple things that you can do at a basic level to make sure that the plates stay where they need to stay. First and foremost, you brace your core and then you push your hips back so that you feel locked in at the top of the movement. Then you're going to want to have a longer chain so that you can kick your feet together at the bottom to physically keep the plates in place. This last one for me is more of a mindset piece. When I'm working up to a weight that's objectively heavy for me, or I'm going for a PR or a rep PR, or anything like that, you have a tendency to get the jitters, like your arms and your hands shake a little bit. I find that I have to still my mind before I get onto the bar, because the thing is, some level of instability is going to be part of dips just because the plates are going to move back and forth side to side a little bit. If you add on the fact that you're shaking like a leaf in a tree, it's just going to exacerbate that issue. So for me, I've found lately that adopting a fuck it, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't mindset helps me stop having expectations with my sets and allows me to focus more on the things that I can control, like bracing my core, pushing my hips back, making sure that I pause on most of my reps, so on and so forth. And if it wasn't for this last tip, I would not have hit 225 pounds or 5 plates on the weighted dip like I showed you at the beginning of the video. Because 1, my dip bars are slippery as hell. 2, if I was shaking like a leaf at a tree back and forth, I was going to miss the lift. You're in luck, because I can't count higher than 5. I have a 6th tip for you, fellas. We can keep this one short and sweet because it is simple. Just get big arms. Find a curl and an extension that you like and get really strong at them over a period of time. What that means is intentionally try to improve the way that you're doing your curls and your extensions or your press downs, whatever, it doesn't matter. 2, you're doing more reps at that given weight, and ultimately we're moving up to a larger weight year over year. Big arms, not only in terms of your triceps, are going to help at the bottom of the movement for stability, but also at the top of the movement for the lockout. My new program, Conquest, is going to show you how to do all of that, to include getting really strong at weighted pull-ups in addition to weighted dips and overhead press as well. So again, if you're interested in using that, you can check that out for free in the description right now. This is a program that I beta tested and quality controlled multiple times to ensure that it was as user-friendly as possible. There's a pounds and kgs version, and there's a guide on how to interact with the program depending upon how much you weigh. Stay tuned for a full video breakdown. I just wanted to soft launch it to you guys. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe to the video if you liked it to see more like this, and check out the Omni Bar if you're interested in supporting the channel. Y'all have a good day. See you later.